So why are you opposing this deal?
In our view, as the SACP, one of the areas of struggle for influence and for the minds of our people, insofar as building a society as we move forward, what values and what we stand for, it's an arena of the media. And media ownership, it's an issue of concern for us. The Media Development Agency has done 2 research reports looking into the structure of media ownership in South Africa. And we think that post 1994, what we have not been able to do is to seriously diversify media ownership, strengthen the community sector, make sure that there's representation of the broader society as a whole. Now, in the light of the status quo, now Mvela wants to increase its majority shareholding in Avusa. So already the smaller role players are being kicked out, and we don't think that it is healthy for any democracy.
You are assuming, though, that if Mvela were to take out the minorities and own it fully, you're assuming that that would be bad for the diversity as expressed within the individual newspapers or vehicles that are within the group. Isn't that an assumption that still needs to be demonstrated? Perhaps it will be business as usual for those publications.
Look, you know, there's been a number of several studies that has been conducted internationally. In fact, that shows that the link between ownership and ultimately the change of what becomes content and so forth is not an assumption. I mean, as far back as the early 1900s, with the development of the commercial media industry and commercial newspapers in the United States and in the United Kingdom and so forth, various scholars have written about this issue. So it's not a matter of speculation. It's something that the editors and the owners would vehemently deny. But you can study phenomena around the country, and the link between political elite and the cross-pollination thereof, it's very scary and too dastardly to think about if we were to allow it to develop in South Africa.
You say there isn't enough media diversity. There's nothing stopping people from starting newspapers, and indeed the New Age was started to increase that diversity, and I think its reputation has become quite strong. It doesn't seem to be perceived as a lackey of government. Lots of community radio stations and lots indeed of other kinds of radio stations and TV channels. Surely we actually do have a large diversity and a lot of voices are being heard.
Superficially we do. And if we talk at the superficial level, we will not be able to see the embedded hurdles that exist. One of the major hurdles towards committing newspapers is the role of advertisers. In fact, as we speak now, there's a huge takeover of community newspapers by commercial big role players. News 24 is not an innocent party in this instance. Caxton is not an innocent party. And the way they do the things is that they dangle the advertising revenue.
Yeah,
so there's not enough support for the papers to succeed. In fact, they're being taken over.
Yeah.
Let's speak about what we call community TV now in Soweto. Who supplies the major content of what that community TV is all about? That community TV is effectively owned by Urban Brew from a content point of view.
Yeah, Malesela, I want to take issue with you saying that because there are advertisers involved that independence is taken away. I think one of the problems with community radio stations is that they're not allowed to make a profit, so they don't attract investment, and therefore the voices that they represent don't get very far.
Well, I was just talking about the papers and then TV now. Yes, it's true that the community radio stations are not supposed to be generating money, but we know that advertisers are knocking on the doors of those community radio stations day by day. If there is any obstacle insofar as alternative community media is concerned, the biggest threat to that is the way the advertisers are behaving.
Surely advertisers go where the markets are. So if you have a big audience, whether you're a radio station, newspaper, television station, the advertisers are going to go there. We're all in competition with each other for that advertising cake. It's not so much a political or a voice decision, but surely it's entirely a commercial decision about reaching a market.
Then go and advertise in the community newspaper. Don't sell bulk advertising to News 24 or to Caxton. Go to the community newspaper in a rural village in Limpopo, where I come from, and go and advertise there directly.
Well, we'll have to leave it there. That was Malesela Maleka, spokesperson from the South African Communist Party.